what are some of the natural things that we can do. So let's talk about 10 signs of an underactive thyroid. Let's talk about natural thyroid alternatives and what's important about that. Well, let's understand, what is the thyroid? What are the symptoms of a low thyroid problem or a high thyroid problem? What does thyroid affect metabolism? And what is the relationship of thyroid to other glands? So what is your thyroid? The thyroid gland, or simply the thyroid, is an endocrine-related gland in the neck. Now, what endocrine means, it basically secretes chemical messengers so that the thyroid can communicate with other parts of the body. It's the gland in the neck. It consists of two lobes connected by a little connection called the isthmus, and it is found in the front of the neck just below the Adam's apple. The thyroid gland secretes thyroid hormones, which are primarily influence the metabolism rate and protein synthesis. The hormones also have many other effects, including those on the development. We have the thyroid hormones, or T3, and we have thyroxine, which is T4, are also created from iodine and an amino acid called tyrosine. The thyroid also produces the hormone calcitonin, which plays an important role in calcium balance and metabolism. Now, hormonal output from the thyroid is regulated by the thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH, which is secreted from the anterior pituitary gland, which is itself regulated by the thyroid releasing hormone produced by the hypothalamus. So let me summarize what that means. You basically have a pituitary gland that tells the thyroid what to do, that's regulated by the office manager of the body called the hypothalamus. And so I think it's really misleading when doctors only test the thyroid stimulating gland and doesn't test T4 and T3. If the thyroid stimulating hormone is high, it means the pituitary is telling the thyroid to do something. Now, if the thyroid hormones are balanced, you can have an artificially elevated thyroid stimulating hormone, but the thyroid can be normal. So there's a lot of misinformation, and I think difficult tests to interpret blood test wise. You can have normal thyroid blood tests but have problems with your thyroid gland. The thyroid gland may be affected by several different diseases. If it's overactive, we call that hypothyroidism, which it occurs when the gland produces excessive amounts of thyroid hormones, and the most common cause being Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder. In contrast, hypothyroidism is a state of insufficient thyroid hormone production, and worldwide this is one of the most common causes related to iodine deficiency, and probably the most common cause of fatigue and metabolism imbalance. Now, thyroid hormones are important for the development, and hypothyroidism is secondary to iodine deficiency, remains the leading cause of preventing intellectual disability. In iodine sufficient regions, the most common cause of hypothyroidism is Hashimoto's thyroiditis, also an autoimmune disease. And in addition, the thyroid gland may also have it developing several types of nodules and cancers. Now, the thyroid hormones, the primary function of the thyroid is the production of the iodine-containing thyroid hormones, T3, and also thyroid iodine and thyroxine T4 and peptide hormone calcitonin. Now, when we have T3, T4, and calcitonin, thyroid hormones increase the basal metabolic rate and have effects on almost all body tissues. The appetite, the absorption of substances, gut motility are all influenced by the thyroid. Now, they increase the absorption in the gut, they uptake the cells, and the breakdown of glucose. Thyroid stimulates the breakdown of fats and increases the number of free fatty acids. Despite increasing free fatty acids, thyroid hormones decrease cholesterol levels, perhaps by increasing the rate and secretion of cholesterol in the bile. So if you're having GI problems and the thyroid's off, it's going to exacerbate that because bile is what helps to break down fats in the diet. Thyroid has an enormous cardiovascular effect because the hormones increase the rate and strength of the heartbeat. So this is one of the reasons why you can have a fluttering heart if your thyroid hormone gets too high. Now, they increase the rate of breathing intake and the consumption of oxygen and increase the activity of the energy producing unit of the cell, the mitochondria. Now, combined, these factors increase blood flow and the body's temperature. So one of the best ways to evaluate thyroid function is to do the Broda-Barnes temperature test, which means that you get up in the morning, you get a thermometer, you measure your temperature, and it should be somewhere between 97.7 and 98.3 degrees. There's actually a handout that we'll send to you on a temperature test that you can do at home. You don't have to go to the lab to measure your thyroid levels, and I think it's more accurate. Thyroid hormones are important for normal development. They increase the growth rate of young people, and the cells of the developing brain are a major target for the thyroid hormones T3, and T4. The thyroid hormones play a particularly crucial role in the brain maturation during fetal development. The thyroid hormones also play a role in maintaining normal sexual function, sleep, and thought patterns, and increased levels are associated with increased speed of thought generation but decreased focus. Sexual function, including libido and the maintenance of normal menstrual cycles, are influenced by thyroid hormones, and after secretion, only a very small proportion of the thyroid hormones travel freely in the blood. Thyroid hormones act by crossing the cell membrane and binding to intracellular nuclear thyroid hormone receptors, which bind with hormone response elements and the transcription factors to modulate DNA, in essence, how we make proteins. In addition, these actions on the DNA, the thyroid hormones act within the cell membrane or within the cell cytoplasm via reactions with enzymes, including calcium ATP, adenyl cyclase, and glucose transporters. Now, common prescriptions for thyroid include Westheroid, Armour-thyroid, levothyroxine, Synthroid, and this video talks about what are some of the natural things that we can do. So let's talk about 10 signs of an underactive thyroid. 1. Fatigue after sleeping for 8 to 10 hours a night or needing to take a nap daily, weight gain or the inability to lose weight, mood issues such as mood swings, anxiety, depression, hormone imbalances such as PMS, irregular cycles, infertility, and low sex drive, muscle pain, joint pain, carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis, cold hands and feet, feeling cold when others are not, or having body temperature consistently below 98 degrees, dry or cracking skin, brittle nails, excessive hair loss, constipation, mind issues such as brain fog, poor concentration or poor memory, neck swelling or snoring or a hoarse voice. That's amazing. All of these conditions are related to the thyroid. That's why they call it the master hormone gland. Now, on the flip side, other symptoms of an overactive or hypothyroidism include increased appetite, nervousness, restlessness, inability to concentrate, weakness, irregular heartbeat, difficulty sleeping, fine brittle hair, itching, hair loss, nausea and vomiting, breast development in men, and some really neat dietary considerations for thyroid. The healthier alive your food is, the healthier alive you are. I really like wild caught fish, salmon are really good, coconut oil, fermented foods, sprouted seeds, and if you'll avoid inflammatory foods such as wheat in breads, in rolls and biscuits, it really helps to calm down the thyroid, either if it's too high or if it's too low. Now, some considerations for natural low thyroid remedies is balance, balance, and balance. Now, this works for high thyroid or a low thyroid is to get your body on a schedule, go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time, eat as healthy as possible, and a treatment must be individualized. So there's some really neat therapies called a proteomorphogen therapy, which is basically the cellular constituents or the DNA imprint for healthy thyroid. There's also some products from Nature's NX called ThyroBalance. There's iodine up. There's a glandular thyroid called Thytrophin. There's an adrenal glandular, because if you support the adrenal glands, it really helps with thyroid balance. A natural herb product called Lomatia. Iodine about 150 to 300 micrograms a day, but be careful with supplements because iodine is one of those things. A little is good, a lot is bad. Fish, eggs, raw dairy, selenium really helps with this. Another thing that's great for thyroid function is L-tyrosine, typically 500 milligrams twice a day. Fish oil, approximately 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams of an omega-3, B12, and vitamin B3 thiamine, which helps with neurologic function. Also, probiotics have a really nice effect on thyroid function. So this is just a nice overview of thyroid, some natural treatment considerations. You don't want your thyroid too high and having hyperthyroidism. You don't want it too low having hypothyroidism. Again, balance, balance, balance. You have to treat people individually, but get your body on a schedule, get the right amino acids in your body. You can temperature regulate. It'll help with your metabolism. We'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you'd like more information, education, or want to work with us, head over to bestmedicaloptions.com. And if you want to help to reach, teach, and heal the world, leave a comment, like, share it with someone that you love. It may seem like an impossible task, but those that are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do.